Today I'm here with Cindu Thomas George. Very excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I am so excited about this kickoff to 2025. So I'd like to start by asking you to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Um, well, as you know, I do a lot of different things. I think primarily and for the longest time, I have been a professor. I'm a tenured professor of communication studies at the College of Lake County,
Mhm.
and I focus on intercultural intelligence, public speaking, organizational communication. I also do a lot of professional development around equity inclusion in the classroom for faculty. And then I'm a founder and principal trainer of Shakti Training, which is a boutique DEI consulting firm.
Mhm.
And I've been doing both of those for around 20 years.
Mhm.
And then I am the co founder of the Chicago Women's Leadership Accelerator, which really works to help women at the mid level and emerging leaders move up in their careers through professional development and networking. And then I am the founder of South Asian Solidarity Movement.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career that solidified your commitment to promoting equity and cultural competence?
Yeah, I think it starts before my career. And just, my lived experiences really drove me into doing inclusion and belonging work.
Mhm.
And that's because I grew up in a predominantly white community in the 80s as a daughter of immigrants. From the age of 5, when I went into kindergarten, I experienced unfortunate racism and xenophobia. And so I was really othered, and that's a new term, right? Back then we didn't use that.
Yes.
But racism is really a really serious form of human shaming. So
Mhm.
I learned to feel shame for my
Mhm.
Indianness and my otherness from a really early age. And that really, I think, informed a lot of my life. And then
Mhm.
I went into higher ed as a young woman of color. And 20 years ago, higher ed was a very predominantly white male industry. It's
Yes.
diversified, but still very predominantly white.
Yes.
And then I experienced not just racism, but sexism and ageism and
E-
elitism.
Yes.
And that really set me onto this path of ensuring that other people don't experience the things that I experienced. But I would
Mhm.
say, if I think about two specific examples on, you know, why I do this work. My first year teaching at San Francisco, College of Lake County,
Mhm.
I was an adjunct. I was teaching at a couple of different colleges, and I was assigned to share space with an adjunct who was probably in his late 50s, and he had
Mhm.
never had to share an office with anyone.
Uh-oh.
Here I am, a 25-year-old South Asian woman,
Right.
and literally he refused to share his office with me. So I would bring in like a picture frame of my husband and I and a book,
Yeah.
and the next day I would come in and it would be on the floor. And then I
Oh,
would get like
wow.
racist emails, and then he would talk about me to other people. We were
Yeah.
in cubicles, so like
Mhm.
other faculty were hearing, and he would say things like, you don't even know how to speak English, how could they hire you to teach communication studies? And so it was to the point that was so bad that people that I didn't even know, because I was new, were
Yeah.
coming and knocking on my door like, hey, sorry to bother you, but just want to let you know, and would tell me about this.
Oh,
So I
wow.
had to, at 25, my first year, one, learn that like I wasn't welcome,
Yes.
at least by him. But
Mhm.
luckily, my dean, who was also a white man in the
Mhm.
same age range, fought for me.
Oh, good.
Didn't really bother him too much, so I had to get the union involved, and had a long semester fight just to claim my own space that I was inheritedly given because I was an adjunct faculty like him.
Right, right.
And so that's really, I would say, one of my experiences that was big. And I would say the second thing is like that was happened to me. And then when
Mhm.
I started doing this work, I realized like so many leaders just don't have the awareness,
Mhm.
and they want to do better, but they don't know how.
Right.
And I was doing a training around rejecting the colorblind ideology to help increase racial inclusion for leaders at my college, like over a decade ago.
Mhm.
And at the end of the training, there was a very brave white man who was a leader who raised his hand and started crying. And he was like, I thought I was doing the right thing by being colorblind. And it
Uh,
was like a light bulb moment for him.
mhm.
And that's when I was like, okay, this is
Mhm.
really important work.